I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi has generated a lot of talk since its release this weekend, thanks to writer-director Rian Johnson's plot twist and sweeping themes. But it also happens to be a striking costume film courtesy of veteran designer Michael Kaplan, who also worked on The Force Awakens. The Hollywood Reporter's fashion and beauty destination Predator Reporter spoke to the designer about his inspirations for a film that feels to THR's Booth more like the first Star Wars to be made with women in mind. I do feel the film coming out right now with what's going on in the news is appropriate, says Kaplan. There's wonderful, strong women in this film, much more than we've seen ever before in a Star Wars film, and I think it's reflecting what's going on. When it came to the ever-iconic Leia, portrayed by the late Carrie Fisher, Kaplan reveals that what worked in Episode 7 wasn't appropriate for Episode 8. When J.J. Abrams directed, his take on Princess Leia was much about practicality, where she's wearing her jumpsuit, says Kaplan. Coming on to Episode 8, the script had more humor, more color, more flamboyant locations, and Rian Johnson's take on Princess Leia was totally different, so suddenly there was the opportunity to do a lot more. Kaplan explains that when it came to dressing Princess turned General Leia, he found some royal inspiration, giving her a far more regal look than in Episode 7. One of my references was Queen Elizabeth wearing a military cape in a photograph I found, the designer reveals. And I love the way the collar frames her face. We also added a lot of jewelry. Referencing one of the film's most feminine looks, a draped cape-back jersey gown worn by Laura Dern's Vice Admiral Holdo, Kaplan explains that her costume went through an evolution. I thought when I read the script that Holdo would be wearing a uniform, he says. So I did some uniform designs and showed them to Ryan, and he said, oh, no, she's flirting with Oscar Isaac's character. I don't want her to be in a uniform, I want her to be unique and almost balletic. He said, I'd like to see her body and her body language and her silhouette and have her be more feminine. And when it comes to Canto Bight, the cosmic casino with 200 extras each with a custom look, Kaplan explains that his starting point was knowing that Johnson wanted it to be black and white. I looked at Truman Capote's famous black and white ball and started looking at my favorite heroines from the past, says Kaplan. I knew there would be a lot of creatures requiring fancy dress. Everybody was unique, which was so challenging since there were 200 extras, but there were so many more that weren't seen on the film. Ryan said, I had to cut it because the film was so long, and every time I cut a second out of it, I said, Michael's gonna kill me. So, did you see The Last Jedi over the weekend? If so, how many times, and did it live up to your expectations? Let us know in the comments, and of course, you guys don't forget, subscribe right here to THR News so you never miss an important story. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.